Said before the break, Keith Stackpole has a special guest today, the Pakistani captain WASIM Akram. Welcome, Keith, and WASIM, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Not playing today. Keith, listening on ABC radio yesterday, you felt that the Pakistani hierarchy and their captain wouldn't be all that bothered by being beaten by Victoria, whereas had it been England, you'd say it would be a disaster. It's the way they approach the game. Is Keith correct? Would you like to have got a better result so far from this match?
I mean, we went into this match basically to have a match practice, test match practice before the test match. Although we didn't bat it well again, our batting collapsed. But we definitely took it seriously. All the Victorians really bowled well and played well. And
Dean Jones, who yesterday broke a record, he's made now 27 hundreds for Victoria. It's a remarkable performance. There's been a lot of speculation, WASIM, as to whether he should get back into the Australian team, particularly in the one-day arena in the World Cup. What did you think of his performance?
I mean, I believe if Dean Jones would be any other team in the world, he would have been in the team. He's still one of the best players I've played against, and he's still very good. He can still be, should be an Australian team.
Actually, it was a great battle yesterday between Jones and Saclane, the off-spinner.
Yeah, I mean, Dino is a very good player off spin bowling, definitely. And Saclane is a young boy, and he did bowl well. But Dean Jones is definitely a very good player. I believe he should be an Australian side.
When you say the Australian team, including, would you play him in the Test team if you were the Australian selectors?
Definitely, definitely. There's no doubt about it. That's what I think as a bowler as well.
It's a fair rap, isn't it? My word, it is. From one of the all-time greats. Dino will be very happy with you, WASIM. There's the scores. Saclane taking 5 for 107. Jones dominating again. Again, not getting a tremendous amount of support, Keith, at the top. What do you try and achieve from today, weather permitting, WASIM? Because you're in a situation where you're trailing by 159 runs. What are you looking for today? Basically, in the second test match, I believe we bowled well than our batting. So we need a batting practice on the crease, and that's what the boys are trying to do, to occupy the crease. But we Victorians bowled really well in the first innings. And hopefully we try to just, be on the crease and get runs.
I'm looking at the 2 test matches so far. Brisbane was a disaster. Hobart, you were in it. I would have thought you probably would have been more disappointed with the performance in Hobart than perhaps even Brisbane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because Brisbane was definitely finished in 3.5 days. The wicket was quite bouncy and we didn't bowl well, but Hobart we bowled well, and then our batting collapsed. And we should have at least, in the first inning, we should have go at least near 267, not past, at least near 267, and try to get them out again on 280 and try to get the runs. I mean, but 376 was the third highest scores in the history, and we tried, our aim was to get runs, but again, they were without the main bowler, and we didn't bat it well as well.
Down in Hobart, I just felt at times you appealed just a little bit too much. I thought you put a bit of, I know there's a bit of pressure there, but the fellows seemed to get frustrated.
Yes, they were. I mean, we appealed so much because quite a few times we thought it was very close, but umpires obviously didn't thought it was very close. That's why, I mean, quite a few decisions were very, very close.
You can't really talk about the umpiring. You're not allowed to, are you? But you do write a report after a match, don't you?
Yes, we did write a report after the match to ICC.
And can you be completely frank in that report and say exactly how you feel?
Yeah, we can say that whatever we feel. They have proper, you can say about leg before decisions, caught behinds, how handle the game, no balls, white balls, everything. They have points. You give points to them, and then you give your comments.
Can we ask about your batting, WASIM? Because we brought this up, didn't we, Keith, last week? You don't seem to be batting as well as you were a few years ago. I mean, you did play well in the second innings in Hobart, where you got a quick 30.
Yes, because I think in the last couple of years I've been bowling quite a bit, like 30 overs a day, 25 overs a day, and then your concentration usually goes. And that's what's been happening with me, and I think I should be, concentrating more and practice more, and that's what I've been doing this time.
The great all-rounders throughout the history of Test cricket, you find when they're taking wickets, concentrate on bowling. When they're not taking wickets, suddenly batting comes to the fore. Is that a little bit the same with yourself?
Not really. I mean, I believe that I should be, I can bat and I have scored runs, but the thing is this, suddenly I used to bowl a lot of overs, and my concentration used to go.
Good catch, bad catch.
Yeah, I know, that was a great catch. I thought it going for 3 runs or something.
Just the 3 could have been. The Australian fielding has been so superior.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, are you working on that at the moment to try and raise your standards?
Yes, we are. It's in our cricket structure back home. Like when I was 17, I came to Pakistan team, and then I knew the basics. Like we don't have a structure, school structure. And the only thing we have is under 19s. And over there, they don't bother about fielding because grounds are so hard. You can't dive there. If you dive, you have to have injections and everything. So it's again, it's the structure. And when I was like Salim Elahi, Saklan, they came into team and we told them the basics, what to do. Body behind the ball, and you have to come the ball to you. You don't have to grab the balls. So that's the main dilemma we're going through right now.
What's a captain do? Like in Brisbane, you see 5 catches go down, 6, 7, and I think it got up to 8. What do you think of? Do you give them a blast?
It
or
wasn't.
what do you do?
You hope you don't drop the next one.
I know. No, I mean, I believe when boys are down and they're trying their best, you can't even blast them, you can't even go at them. The only thing you can do is to back them up and, tell them, doesn't matter, it'll come, just try your best. And they were trying their best. Suddenly, I mean, this is the first time we dropped so many catches in one inning.
Is that the toughest? I'm just wondering, is being captain of Pakistan the toughest job in world sport? I mean, you've only had 5 captains so far this year. You were captain before and have come back. Seems like a fairly dangerous position to be in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not a dangerous, but it depends. If you're successful, everything is fine. If you're not, then criticism comes and everything comes. I mean, now, the boys, we're going through a bad patch right now as far as cricket concerns, and the politics is finished.
Imran Khan has been critical. Now, he was successful at the World Cup here in Melbourne, in that marvellous final against England, where you played such a part when you bowled Lamb and Lewison went on a hat-trick. Have you been a bit disappointed with Imran in the way he's...
No, I'm quite friendly with Imran. Still, we see each other quite often. And it's just that's probably his opinion. I mean, you can't tell unless you're outside the team, and you can make your comments whatever you want to. And I was least bothered about his comments.
Wasm, on this occasion, I mean, he's a great favourite here, and he's the lion and all of those things. We love him. But at his speech afterwards, he just forgot to thank the players and all that. Was there a feeling that it was a one-man band at the time and that the other players didn't get enough respect from the captain?
No, tell you the truth, at that time, nobody even listened to the speech. We were so excited. But after, when we went back to Pakistan, the people were saying what happened, what he did, and what sort of speech he did. And then the boys have realized. But for me, it didn't matter because I knew deep inside he definitely had a... definitely praised us and everything. Every game he praised us after every game.
Bruce and myself have had many discussions about Waqar. And I haven't seen Waqar bowl that well in Australia, and Bruce looks at his records and keeps on throwing them up at me. At the moment, going through a bit of a tough patch, isn't he?
Yes, he had 8 months layoff, and he's a fracture in his back. And believe me, at this age, I mean, he's 25, 26. I mean, if I have a restful month, it take me about 3 months match practice to come back into my rhythm. And his bowling is very different. He has to sprint in every ball, not like me, come from 7 paces or 17 paces and bowl. His all action is in his sprint and in his jump. And I was talking to Tony Greger the day he showed Waqar's old action and this action. And old action, say in 89, there was jump was about 3 feet. And now hardly about 6 inches jump. So it's rhythm. He has to bowl more and more in test matches. And I think next game, he's working hard. He'll probably be getting a little more quicker every day by day.
Sydney Test starts on Thursday. Can you reverse the trend?
Yes, hopefully. I mean, definitely the boys are very down. They're working very. The best thing is we're working hard. As long as it doesn't happen, but we're working hard. Deep inside, we're quite satisfied with ourselves that we are trying our best and it's not happening.
A couple of selections. Sahel, who got injured in the nets, seemed to be should have had a helmet on maybe or whatever. Will he play?
He said I've spoken to him yesterday. And he said he's a very, very strong guy mentally, and he said he'll be okay before the Sydney Test match.
Should this incident have happened?
I mean, accidents do happen on the field, I mean, in the nets, and it shouldn't have happened, definitely. I mean, he's our main player, and he's vice captain, and he's really, really playing well this season.
Salam Malik, any chance of playing?
Yeah, I think he'll play the next test match. He missed this game because he said his stitches are still raw and everything, so he said he's practicing in nets with me, and he said he'll be looking forward to play.
Is he one of the boys, or is he a bit of a... Does he just keep to himself? I mean, there's a feeling... You seem to think that he's a very quiet man, introverted, and...
He has been like this all his life, very quiet man, but he is definitely mixed up with the boys. He laughs, he jokes and everything. But generally, he's a guy who keeps everything to himself. Finally, 2 spinners. Will you play both the offie and the leggy? No, it depends. I mean, depends what sort of wicket we are playing on. Sydney definitely turns. That's what we all know. But if it's a little bit grass on it, we probably play with 3 fast bowlers and then Mushtaq, and then Amir Sohail. If he plays, then we probably play him. He's quite a good bowler. Well, bad luck for you that Shane Warne's not playing. we better leave it. Keith, you're coming back for the interview with Dickie Bird a little later.
Yes, a friend of Wasim's.
Yes. Wasim, write down a couple of questions. We can ask Dickie Bird for you.
I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
You must ask him.
It's been great to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you too.
Yes, one of the all-time greats, isn't he? WASIM Akram, the captain of Pakistan. A break, and after this, The awesome foursome, a bit of a change, but can they make it all the way to gold in Atlanta?